Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive here on the Duo Dialogue.
It's great to be back.
Today, we're tackling a beast that many IELTS test takers find particularly scary.
Oh, yeah.
It's IELTS Speaking Part 2, the dreaded long turn.
Right. 2 whole minutes where you have to just talk.
It can feel like an eternity, right? But we're here to help you not just survive it, but totally nail it.
Exactly. And we've been doing some digging, and we've got some seriously effective strategies to share with you guys.
So let's jump right in now.
You know what I find interesting about this part of the test? So much of the fear comes from just not knowing what to expect.
Totally.
2 minutes sounds intimidating.
Yeah.
But once you understand the structure and what the examiner is actually looking for, it becomes way less overwhelming.
So true. So to break it down for anyone who might be new to this in Speaking Part 2, you'll be given a cue card with the specific topic on it.
Right.
And then you get a glorious 1 minute to gather your thoughts and jot down some ideas before you have to speak for a full 2 minutes.
And don't forget, after you've spoken, the examiner might ask you 1 or 2 short follow-up questions.
Yeah, they might, just to round things off.
Exactly, just to bring the segment to a natural close.
All right, so let's make this super practical.
Yeah.
Imagine you get a cue card that says, describe a memorable trip you took.
Okay.
And then you have these prompts to guide you, like, where did you go? Who did you go with? What did you do? And why was it memorable?
Now, here's the thing. Those prompts are really helpful, but don't feel like you have to treat them like a rigid checklist.
Right.
Think of them more as different angles for you to consider as you build your 2-minute story.
Yeah, and the key is to weave it all together naturally.
Absolutely.
Now, we've got a great way to structure your response, and that is the 4-part approach.
I love this approach.
Introduction, main story, personal feelings, and conclusion.
So simple, yet so effective.
Right. It gives your response this really clear flow, making it easier for both you and the examiner to follow.
And it helps ensure that you cover all the important aspects without going off on tangents.
Exactly. So let's say your memorable trip was to Japan.
I love Japan.
Me too. Okay, so your introduction could be something as simple as, I'd like to tell you about a trip I took to Japan last year.
Perfect.
Then for the main story, you could say, I traveled with my best friend, and we explored cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka.
Now, here's where you bring in that personal touch. Instead of just listing all the things you did, explain why those experiences were memorable for you.
Yes.
So maybe you could say something like, visiting Mount Fuji and seeing that breathtaking view was a moment I'll never forget.
Oh, that's so good.
It adds that depth and makes your story come alive.
And to wrap it all up, a nice, concise conclusion like, overall, it was an unforgettable experience that I hope to repeat someday.
Beautiful. Now, how about we talk about some phrases that can really elevate your language?
Okay, let's do it.
There are certain phrases that can signal different parts of your response and showcase a wider range of vocabulary.
So for introducing the topic, what kind of phrases can we use?
You could start with something like, I'd like to talk about. Or one experience that stands out is.
Okay, those are good. And then for describing the places you visited.
You could try something like, it was a stunning location with. Or the city was bustling with.
Okay, love it. And what about when you're describing your feelings about the trip?
You want to use phrases that really convey those emotions. So you could say, I was particularly impressed by, or it was a truly awe-inspiring experience.
Oh, I like that. And finally, to signal your conclusion.
You can use phrases like, in conclusion, it was a truly memorable, or to sum it up, the trip was.
Perfect. Now, it's also super helpful to be aware of common mistakes that people make so they can avoid them.
Oh, for sure. One of the biggest ones is not speaking for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, you got to make use of all that time.
Practice timing yourself at home so you get a feel for how much you can say in 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Another mistake is using very basic vocabulary.
Yes.
You want to challenge yourself to use more descriptive and interesting language.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, it was good, describe why it was good. Was it fascinating? Was it peaceful? Was it exciting?
Right. And try to minimize those long pauses. While some pauses are natural, of course, too many can disrupt the flow of your speech.
For sure. Practice speaking smoothly and naturally, even if you're just describing your day to someone.
And maybe the most important tip of all, don't memorize entire answers.
Oh, please don't do that.
The examiners are trained to spot that, and it won't really show off your true speaking ability.
The goal is to sound natural and fluent.
Like you're having a conversation.
Exactly.
So to recap, tackling speaking part 2 is all about understanding the structure.
Yes.
Organizing your thoughts, using a variety of vocabulary, and being aware of those common pitfalls.
And by focusing on these areas, you can approach this part of the IELTS with so much more confidence.
You know what's really interesting to me is that these structural elements, the introduction, the story, the feelings, and the conclusion,
Yeah,
they're not just for exams.
that's so true.
They're the building blocks of good storytelling in any situation.
Absolutely. Whether you're sharing an anecdote with friends or giving a presentation at work.
So true. Well, that's our deep dive into IELTS Speaking Part 2 for today.
It's been a good one.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and be sure to stay tuned for our next exploration where we'll be tackling another aspect of the IELTS.
We'll see you then.
Bye!